Hey everybody. Happy Tuesday to you, my friends. Hi. How you doing? Hi Rochelle. Hi Cecilia. Hello Colleen. Hi Michelle, Mary, Anita. It's so good to see everybody. How you guys doing out there? Hi. Let everybody make their way in. You guys having a good week so far? I'm hanging in there. It's going to be a busy week for me. So I'm just kind of buckled up and hoping for the best. You ever feel that way? You're just like, well, here we go. That's the way I'm kind of feeling right now. Hi, Facebook family, making their way in. Hello, Linda. Hello, Jamie. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Donna. Hi, Wendy. All right, guys. So now that everybody is making their way in, let's chat a second, shall we? Let's chat for a second. So today's project is going to be featuring the February Bargain Bead Box. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But before we get started with that, I do want to make a couple announcements, just a couple quick reminders for everybody, and then we will get started. So reminder number one is that the Hardwired group is open for enrollment all week this week, you guys. So if you're unfamiliar with the Hardwired group, that is my paid Facebook group. We work really hard in there, but we do have a whole lot of fun. It is a smaller group than our regular community group. There's there's a couple of hundred people, I think, like around the 200 mark. But normally for the lives, there's usually maybe 50 people at a time. A lot of people catch those on the replays, which is one of those things that makes the Hardwired group so great. So the Hardwired group is where we do projects that are upper level beginner to intermediate, lower level advanced type projects. We do a lot of wire weaving, but we do a lot of other things. And just because we do some of those harder projects, I don't want it to be intimidating to you or for you to feel like you couldn't succeed there, because that is 100% not the case. I break all of the projects down super, super simple so that they are accessible for absolutely everybody in every skill level. We focus a whole lot on building our techniques, starting from the basics and working our way up. So I feel like it's really a class that anybody can join, and you really can kind of work your way and make your way to where we are without a whole lot of, I don't know. It takes work. Obviously, we work hard, but I really just don't want you to feel like you're not ready for it, because if you even think for a second about joining, that means you're ready for it. It's a great class. We do a lot of fun things there. You got to use PayPal though. That's about the only way. That's really the only way that we do our invoicing. So unfortunately, Rochelle, I do apologize for that. PayPal is the only way we keep all of our records. Let's see. And Colleen says you can use PayPal as a guest, so you absolutely can do that as well. Let's see. What else? What else do I need to tell you guys? So the Hardwired group, like I said, is open for enrollment. It is open for enrollment all week. If you're curious about being part of the Hardwired group, please understand that we are only open for enrollment once a month. It usually falls at the end of the month into the beginning of the month, and we try to stay open for about 7 to 9 days for enrollment. But once that is over with, enrollment is closed for the rest of the month. So you can only apply to be part of the group once a month. Again, it's just our way of keeping our records all straight and billing everybody all at the same time. When you apply to be part of the group, you just go to the Facebook group, ask to be a part of the group. You're going to get some questions. You must fill out those questions. Otherwise, we don't know where to invoice you. So please be sure that you answer the questions. If you don't, then we don't know how to get you in. So definitely want to be sure you get all those questions answered. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, yeah. This week, you guys, my new Master Maker show starts on Fridays. That is going to be on Friday afternoon. It does not change anything about our Feel Good Friday show, which will still happen at 1 p.m. on Friday. So don't worry about that. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to be an additional live that will happen on Friday afternoon. I'm having a meeting about it tomorrow, and I'll catch you up with all the details and make a post for it so that you guys will be sure not to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have, let's see, I have a total of 16 pieces of jewelry already made, just as inspiration. We're going to do one project together, but I've got 16 pieces of jewelry to show you to inspire you to become a master maker. So looking forward to that. I cannot wait. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and it's going to be a new transition. It's going to be kind of, you know how first classes always are, kind of just like testing the waters. So the project that we're actually doing is a familiar project. I felt like it would probably be in my best interest not to start something that I've never done before or anything like that. So it's a familiar necklace project that we've actually done recently, but it's going to be using some of the JTV components, and I'm going to show you guys a bead mix. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, though, that first project is one you've probably already seen, but there are a lot of new people coming in to watch. So it'll be a first time for them seeing the project. All right. All right. So all of that is going on this week. Our Hardwired group, don't forget, we are meeting today at 4 p.m. Eastern time for our weekly project. We're working on something new and exciting this week. So lots of stuff going on. My calendar is super full, but I like it that way. I like it that way. All right, let's talk about today. Today we are working on the February Bargain Bead Box. I know it's the last day of February. I've saved this one right till the very end. I'm so sorry about that. So we're going to go through the bag of the Bargain Bead Box bag. You know the whole drill. We're going to go through that really quickly, and then we're going to put together a really fun and easy necklace project that I think really shows off some of the sparkle, because you guys know I love the sparkle that was included in this box. Katie says, did you work at JTV before? Yes, I did work at JTV before. I worked at JTV as a guest for several years, and then I did a short little run as a host on JTV Extra. So I'm just kind of picking back up where I left off. I'm going to be hosting Master Maker on JTV Extra, but you'll also be able to see it here. So yeah. Jennifer says, this is my first exposure to JTV. Had to ask Colleen what JTV was. JTV stands for Jewelry Television, and they broadcast on the jtv.com website, as well as all cable network, cable things. They have a real digital channel, as well as, or they have a regular cable channel, as well as several digital channels. So yeah. All right, gonna turn you guys around. We're gonna get started, shall we? All right. Excuse me, guys. I'm still very congested. I'm on another round of antibiotics. Believe it or not, I'm still sick. I cannot seem to shake this. Albert, please be quiet. All right, so the Bargain Bead Box for this month, you guys know the drill. I don't know where my paper is. I have no idea what it's called, but it's all types of purpley goodness. So I'm going to show you. We're going to go pretty quickly through this. I will go ahead and tell you there are some beads that are missing because they are in our project. Part of the project is already put together for us. So I'm going to just show you very, very quickly. This one was so pretty. So lots of purple and green here. Colleen, can you tell me what this one was called? Because I cannot remember. Cooper is 100% better. I wish I was. Look at these beautiful rondelles. You've got a beautiful strand of mixed rondelles. Glass babies. Those are so pretty. Lots of different shades of purple here. So there's like a very light lavender. There's a very, very light lavender that's clear. Some darker purple with that fire polish flash. Really, really beautiful. Violet Glade, she says. Sounds pretty good. All right, check these out. These are so pretty too. These are matte agate in purple. Lots of different shades of purple in this strand as well. I love these. I love an agate bead. I do not have any problems with agate. I know some people are like, oh, agate doesn't really qualify as a gemstone, blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you, I feel like an agate is one of those, it's like nature's, how to explain it? because you can dye it and treat it and do so many different things to it. I just feel like this was like a nature's gift, if you will, because you literally can take agate and turn it into literally any color of the rainbow. You can do all kinds of different treatments to it. I mean, there are very few gemstones where you can do that, where they will actually tolerate all of that. So I feel like agate is just super, super special. Love those. Okay, super pretty. All right, and then Patricia says, how can we watch JTV without cable? You can watch it on the jtv.com website. There are a lot of options at the top of the page for all the different channels, the JTV channels that you can choose from. Look at these. Are these not gorgeous? So I'm using these in the project. I wish I had my paper. Are these actual amethyst or are these just some more dyed agate? I don't know. Somebody tell me. They're so pretty. They're so, I don't even care. I don't believe that that is amethyst. I think these are just agate. Somebody tell me. I should keep the paper, right? You guys, dyed quartz. Okay, there we go. Quartz is another one of those that you can do some pretty magical things with. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, Susie says there is a free JTV app on your Roku. So if you've got Roku, you can watch it there as well. But you definitely can watch it from their website. So, but you'll be able to see me here as well. So don't worry. Don't worry. All right. I do too. Pam says she loves the mixture of all the different colors of the purples, the different shades. They're so pretty. Gosh, and they're so cold. I should just take a picture of the invoice. I know. I 100% need to just keep up with it. But I just, like, there's a pile of paperwork here. And, like, I'm a creative, right? Beads and findings is everything that's on my desk. If you put paperwork on my desk, it gets shoved to the side in a stack of, like, never-ending paperwork. Because it's just not exciting. And that's where it is. It's in the pile of paperwork that I'm just like, oh, that's just not exciting. I know this is fluorite. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Look at the little baby fluorite. They're so pretty too. I love. Look at the colors here. And then we've got this pop of green. Marley Beth says, thank you for educating me on the types of beads like agate and quartz. Marley Beth, I'm learning just like you are. I don't know that I'm the best person to be teaching you anything because I'm like, somebody tell me what this is because I don't know. Like, I know this is glass. I know when it's check glass and I know when it's an agate. That's about it. Yeah, see, Sue says paperwork in my office shoved away too, right? Because it's paper. Paper doesn't belong on this desk. Oh gosh. So pretty. So the findings and stuff, I'm going to get there in just a second, for this are lots of dragonflies, okay? But I feel like this was also very, because of the purple and the green, the only thing that's missing from this is like that yellow gold for Mardi Gras. You know what I mean? Because it was a February box. Okay, look, this is one where you are 100% safe here, Marley Beth. I promise you. This is one where there are not a lot of these in the bag because I've used these in the project. So you do get a full like strand of these gorgeous little babies. They're just off to the side right now. But yeah, don't think those are the only ones you get. As well as this. So they sent me just this one bag with this little tiny, no, not really. So this little baby right here was just one extra. He's the same as this, but we're using them in the project. So some of them are pre-strung with the little bead stoppers at the end, but look how beautiful. And you guys know how I feel about a baby bead, and then you put sparkle on a baby bead and I'm there. So we're using these in the project today. This was one of the beads. It's just off to the side for the moment. We'll just very carefully sit that right there. All right, so let's take a look at some of the other things. So we've got a couple of pendants in the bargain bead box this month. We're going to be using this one in our project. But then there were 2 of these. I love these as well. I almost used these and I thought, you know what? I'm going to save these because these are going to make great earrings to go with the necklace that we're making today. So there are those, just showing you both sides. They're really pretty. So pretty. So those little babies. All right, now we're going to talk about some of the metal that's included. So look at this little toggle. Is that not awesome? So it's a little toggle with the dragonfly on the toggle ring and the toggle bar. You just take that jump ring off to use these. So cute. I love that. Love, love, love that. And that's not it for the dragonflies. Like I said, tons of dragonflies. Right? Donna says some purples are bland, but these are also pretty. I agree with you. Some purples can be a little bluff, you know? Look at those. These are little laser cut stainless steel dragonflies, and they have the holes in them so you can connect them literally anywhere. You could connect it by the wing or by the head or by the tail. You could hang dangles from it. Like, super cute. Super, super cute. Okay. This one's really pretty too. It's got the hole at the top, sparkle on the wing. Oh no, that's not a hole. Just kidding, it's a little crystal. I was like, what? No, his connector is back here, so you can hang him just like that. He's so pretty. I love the wings on that. Okay, that's not all though. That's not all. Check these out. Oh, Brooke, thank you so much for using our super chats on YouTube. I appreciate that so much. Look at these. They're little decorative rings, but they've got dragonflies on them. So you can make like a little chain out of these if you wanted to, or you could use these as charms. You could use these as earring drops. So many possibilities with these. I love these so, so much. I love you too. Thank you, Brooke. I love you too. So, so much. I love all of you. All right, check these out too. These are super cute. I love that they don't just give you 1 or 2. They give you like a whole bag of these. So these are beads, right? They're drilled right through the body. So you can hang these, you can wire wrap these, you can string these, you can do whatever you want to with it. I love them. I absolutely love them. They're very springy, right? This whole box is very springy, but without being like in your face pastel. You know what I mean? So there's a bag of chain as well, which is always appreciated. I love it when they include things like this. So there is some chain. There are some eye pins, which is also greatly appreciated, as well as the bead caps. And the bead caps are the flowers. So let me tell you, one of my favorite things about Bargain Bead Box, other than the fact that you get all of this for less than $20, is that you can shop on their sister site, Bead Box Bargains, and you get a great big fat 30% off coupon when you're subscribed to the box. So then you can take it and turn around and shop at Bead Box Bargains and use that 30% off discount. This is one of my favorite things to grab from them is bead caps. I get tons of bead caps and metal beads from Bargain Bead Box, and I also like to reorder my gemstone strands because I get to use that big 30% off discount. Also, you guys, I have a coupon code with Bargain Bead Box. It's SED2, and you can use that to get $2 off of your first box if you are not already subscribed to the Bargain Bead Box. However, if you are already subscribed to Bargain Bead Box, please let them know when you shop with them. You can leave them a little note in the comment section of your order. Let them know that you are a Bargain Bead Box fan from the Sarah Lovecraft Designs community. I always like to share the love with them and let them know that we are still very much supporting them. Bargain Bead Box is a small business, of course, and I am all about the small business and supporting them. Their customer service is top of the line, top notch. I can't even begin to tell you. If you ever have a problem with your order from them, whether it's your box or an order from Bead Box Bargains, they are the nicest people and the friendliest and the most helpful people ever. So if you've ever got a problem, please don't hesitate to reach out to them because they will fix it, make it better, and they usually throw in a little something extra too, just because they want to keep their customers happy. And I got to tell you, they're definitely keeping all of us happy. So thank you so, so much for shopping with the Bargain Bead Box and Bead Box Bargains if you already are. And if you're not, definitely use that coupon code. It always helps out. But it's a steal, guys, for less than $20 a month to get a box of goodies, a little curated box. I will forever be a fan and customer of Bargain Bead Box. I love them so, so much. All right, so I'm going to set some of this to the side because we're going to make a pretty necklace using a lot of the beads here that you see in the box. And you don't have to do your necklace this way. You can use whichever beads you want to put your necklace together, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do real quick. This is an easy little necklace with just some wrapped loops, but what's going to make this different is the wrapped loops that we're going to create. We're going to create those using the large bell making pliers, which just kind of changes up the way they look. So let me show you. Part of this is already ready, and then some of it we're going to do together, but I'm going to show you. I've got one side of the necklace is already ready. So the bottom part of this necklace is going to start out with those beautiful dyed quartz beads. And you can see I'm doing wrapped loops, but the wrapped loops are great big because we're using the large bell making pliers. So what ends up happening is you get a really cool beaded chain that looks a little different, right, than your regular sized wrapped loops. And then I added some of those little dangles from these little beads that I told you got a bunch of, but there were only a few for me to show. I'm going to dangle some of those from the wrapped loops. Then just some simple stringing. For the length of the necklace, we're using those little baby crystals that are so beautiful. And then that's going to come down and we're going to attach our pendant to that at the bottom. So this is kind of where we're going with this necklace. And I'll show it to you on the bust when it gets all put together, but it really turns out beautifully. It's a simple necklace, but looks a little different than, you know, just your regular wrapped loops. So let's get started with that. Let's make some of our wrapped loops together, shall we? Got a couple that are already done. And then we're going to wire wrap our little faceted beads to those. Do some stringing. A little bit of everything in today's project. So we're going to put these together. So two of them are already ready. We're just going to add to these. Okay. I'm using some 18 gauge German style wire for the wrapped loops. So we're going to do those right now. There is a total of 5 of those. So we're going to do 3 more. Okay. So I cut my 18 gauge wire in some pieces that are, you know, about 4.5 inches long, because it does take a little bit more when you're making such a large loop. Okay. And let's see, got to grab all my tools here, put everything up, trying to be tidy. And now I need all of it. Like, why would I clean up? What? Who does that? Don't clean up. All right. So we are going to come down on that wire, and we're going to come down about 2 inches because we've got to be sure we've got enough to make that nice large loop, but also to do our wire wraps as well. So I'm grabbing that wire with my chain nose pliers. I'm going to give the wire a bend so you can see it's just a piece of 18 gauge wire here. Okay. And then I'm going to use my large bell making pliers. I'm not using the largest loop, though you can use whatever you want to. I'm going to use the smaller of the two to just do a wrapped loop. So I'm grabbing the wire. I'm going to take it and go up and over the barrel of the pliers. And then just like with round nose pliers, you just want to rotate those so that you can take that wire over to the other side to make your loop, right? So you just rotate to take that bottom barrel and make it on the top. All right, so I'm going to slide this off of the tool, okay, because we do want to go ahead and attach it to the 2 that we've already got. Otherwise, if this is your first one, you can leave it on the tool and just do your wire wraps. But since we've already got our beaded chain started here, we take the tail end of that wire, stick it through the loop on one of these that I've already done, and just snap those 2 together, just like that. Okay. I like to hold mine with my bent chain nose pliers because that kind of helps to keep the pliers nose out of the way. And then I can kind of hold everything back with my fingers or in my hand. I'm going to use my chain nose pliers, and we're going to do about 3 wire wraps. And again, 18 gauge wire is a little thick, so you got to use a little oomph, if you will, a little strength there to get those wire wraps. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off that excess. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to thread on one of these beautiful beads. Just drop that down, and we're going to do another wrapped loop. So coming in with my chain nose pliers, grab the wire right where it is exiting the bead and bend the wire over the top of the pliers. That's going to give us enough room for those wire wraps. Okay. However, when you come in with your bell making pliers, there's not room. Okay. There's not room to get like right up at the bend of the wire. So let me show you what I mean. I turn it this way so you can see. See how I'm off to the side? That's because the bail of the pliers and the bead are really kind of fighting each other with space. So that's okay. I can still center up my loop. So I'm just going to do the same steps, right? Take the wire up and over, and you can see it's still off to the side. Rotate the pliers, and as you kind of rotate the pliers, you can also rotate your loop to center it up. Okay. So that's how you're just going to center that up. You just use your pliers to kind of rock it into the spot where it needs to be. And then you're just going to do your wire wraps. I'll show it to you again because we're going to do a couple more of these. So you'll get to see that in case you are a little confused. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with my cutter, trim off the excess. And if you need to tuck in your ends with your pliers, you can do that. See how there's just like a little piece that's sticking out. You just want to come in and kind of squeeze that with your pliers, and that's going to tuck that in and make it all nice and neat. Okay. We're going to do another one. So again, coming in with my 18 gauge wire. This is a long piece. I don't know how I ended up with a piece this long. Let's swap it for another one. All right. Coming in with the chain nose pliers again, bending the wire. We're going to come in with those bell making pliers. And again, going up and over. We're going to rotate the pliers and then take the wire over to the other side. Okay, take it off of the tool. And then again, take the tail end of that wire, stick it through the loop of the one you just made, and just snap those two together. Okay. Use your bent chain nose pliers if you want to hold all of that. And then do your wire wraps. Oops. Okay, once you get your wire wraps, then you're going to come in with your cutter, trim off. If I only have the pliers that are short for memory wire, my pliers work the same. Yes, absolutely. And you know what, you guys, you don't even have to have these pliers. Okay, if you've got anything around, one of my favorite alternatives to my bell making pliers is a Sharpie marker. And listen, Sharpie markers come in different sizes, but the cool part about them is that where the lid meets the marker part, there's a little groove right there, and your wire will fit right down in there. So if you're using like the slim Sharpie markers, it gets a little bit closer to this one, whereas this one's a little bit closer to this one. Like, you can improvise. You don't have to have a tool. Use whatever you've got around you as a mandrel. I mean, really, you don't have to go out and buy a special tool. But if you've got those memory wire pliers, those will work as well. Like, you can use a lot of the pliers and tools that you do have can be used for multiple things. So yeah, just play around with what you got and see what you can come up with. All right, so we got that wraps loop done. We're going to thread on another one of our beautiful beads. Okay, and then we are going to, again, come in with our chain nose pliers. Grab the wire right where it exits the bead. You don't need to make any extra space. Even though our loop is big and our wire is chunky, you still rely on those chain nose pliers to do the measuring for you. Okay, so just bend the wire over the top of the pliers. It is enough room. You don't have to make any extra allowances. Okay, now coming in with the bell making pliers. Now again, it's off center. That's okay, because we're going to center it up here in just a second. So taking the wire up and over. Now, as I rotate the pliers, you can hold tight and roll that loop too, right? And that's going to help to center that up. but you got to hold tight to roll it all together. Okay. All right. So Sheila wants to know if 20 gauge wire will work with this project. It will. The 20 gauge wire will work. However, the bigger the loop that you make with the 20 gauge wire, you might want to work hard in it. So this size loop, you might want to put it on the block and tap it just a little bit. I think it'll be sturdy enough to hold up, but I just for extra security, I might work hard in the loops a little bit. All right. And then you're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off. I try to get as much of that wire wrapped as I possibly can before I come in with my cutter, but sometimes it's just not possible. So trim. Okay, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to add our dangles to this. So even without the dangles, this makes a really cool beaded chain. It makes a great, like, you could do a really pretty bracelet if you wanted to do the length of a necklace, but you didn't have a ton of beads. This is a great way to really kind of stretch your beads, because if you've only got a few, but you want to use, you know, you want those to be the main part of something, this is a great way, because your wire takes up so much room, right? It gives you a lot of spacing in between whatever beads you're using. All right, so we're going to do one more. So coming in with my chain nose pliers, bending the wire. All right, we're coming in with those bell making pliers. One up and over, rotate the pliers, take the wire over to the other side, take that off the tool, and then thread that through. Snap those together. Hold on to that with your bent chain nose pliers. And then you're going to wire wrap. Hi, Wanda. I wondered where you were. Oops. All right. So coming in with the cutter tool, trim off. This wrap loop was a little off. He's a little crooked, but we don't care. Because in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to notice that that one is he's a little crooked. That's okay. We still love him. We're going to thread on our bead and do our last wrapped loop here. Okay. Bending the wire. And again, coming in with those bell making pliers off to the side. Okay. Steps are still the same. One thing I do want to mention though is that the pliers are right up against the bead. Like don't put them way out here. Get them as close as you possibly can. Okay, that's really going to help as well. So you're going to take that up and over, and then as you rotate the pliers, twist your loop too, right? To help center it up. Okay. And then you can do your wire wraps. Ooh. Use my pliers to get in there to get those wraps. Okay, and then we're going to come in with our cutter and trim off. And then if you need to tuck, just give it a squeeze. All right, so we've made our little beaded chain here, right? Some of them already have dangles on them because this part was already done. But now we're going to put dangles on the rest of this. So with each loop, I'm going to put a dangle except for the top and except for the bottom. Okay, so that means that each wire wrapped bead is going to get 2 of the beads. And actually, this one will get 1, but it won't have one on the top. Okay, so we're just going to put these on the head pins and we're going to wire wrap them directly to our chain. So we got several of these, but we'll go quickly. Okay, so drop that down onto a head pin. Unless you want to make your own head pin, you absolutely can do that. We're grabbing the wire, bending it over the top of the pliers. Now this time we're just going to use our standard round nose pliers for our wrapped loops. So up and over, We're going to rotate the pliers so that I can take the wire over to the other side. But before I do those wire wraps, just like with our beaded chain, we're going to take this and we're going to thread that onto one of those loops. Okay. And again, using those bent chain nose pliers is very helpful. And then you're just going to wire wrap. All right. Get your wire wraps in, and then we're going to trim off the excess. Wanda says her fingers are throbbing just watching because I was using that 18 gauge wire to make the wrapped loops. You get used to it. I mean, it does take a minute to get used to it, but you really do get used to it, I promise. All right, so there's that one. All right, we're going to move on to do another one. So same steps. Drop that onto a head pin. Grab the wire. Bending it. All right, coming in with our round nose pliers. Going up and over. Rotate. Take the wire over to the other side. All right, and then just onto the next loop. Slide that through the center. And then you just want to pop those two together. Oh, Rochelle, thank you so much. Okay, and then we're going to wire wrap. We're going to come in with our cutter tool, trim that off. I can't wait for you guys to see this necklace finished because it's so pretty. It's hard to imagine it right this second, I realize. But you're going to have to trust me. It's going to be beautiful when it's finished. I promise. We've got 3 more of these to go. Beady Sensei. Hey, I will take that. I like being a Beady Sensei. Thank you. You know, it is like my secret fantasy to be a ninja. So I will take that. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Y'all are awesome. You're so awesome. All right, so next loop, I'm going to take that wire through the middle and then just snap very gently. Y'all got me giggling. Snap that very gently together. Brooke used to teach martial arts. I took Taekwondo for like a minute, but I was like 12 and it doesn't count. And the only reason I did it was because a boy, right? Which is usually why you do things when you're 12, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's not like I didn't already have like ballet and jazz on my plate. I was like, you know what? He doesn't care about that. He wants a ninja girl. I'm gonna. It was so dumb. But yeah. No. I definitely was not a ninja. I was more of a dancer, but I mean, very similar. Could have been a ninja dancer. All right, into the next loop. So we've only got one more after this one. You did judo in college? Kim says she did judo in college. That's awesome. All right, trim off. We've got one more to go. One more. And then we're just going to do some stringing. And I did the stringing ahead of time because it takes forever. But we're definitely going to do the crimping together, okay? Ninja ballet. I love it. Ninja ballet. That sounds wonderful. What's the question? What's the question? Wanda's yelling at me. What'd I miss, Wanda? You love those bigger wrapped loops? I do too. I do too. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Prudence. Let's see. Is there a reason you use the round nose pliers instead of bell making pliers to make your wrapped loops? So are you talking about my smaller wrapped loops? Because definitely these larger wrapped loops I use the bell making pliers for, but like my little ones, I use my round nose pliers just because for me personally, they're just a little bit easier to use. I do have, like, you guys know I got all the tools. I do have the small bell making pliers, and you absolutely can use the smallest mandrel of the small bell making pliers to make those smaller loops if you want to. Or if you've got the stepped bell making pliers, those will work as well. I just find that they're just kind of big and heavy and just kind of cumbersome. So I just prefer to use my round nose pliers, but it's totally up to you. You headed up? Careful. All right, so now we've got our little dangles on all of the loops except for the top and the bottom loop, right? And now we're going to do some stringing, okay? Because we've got, you're just going to repeat that, obviously, because this is just one side. However, this makes a beautiful bracelet, by the way. So if you wanted to just do a bracelet out of this, you absolutely could. That would be super, super pretty. But one side, it's got 5 beads. One side's got another 5 beads. Now we're going to do some of that stringing. And like I said, because it's tiny, tiny beads, it's going to take a minute. So I pre-thread my beads and just put bead stoppers on the ends. So the strand of the tiny beads, I folded it in half. I had one extra, right? I just had one extra bead, but I'm using the entire strand for the length of our necklace here. Okay. So I just cut the strand in half. I had one bead extra, so I didn't feel too bad about that, but I basically am using every single bead. Half of it on one side. I'm just going to wire wrap that to the chain. So we're going to do that here with this one. So I'm using some 49 strand silver color bead string and wire from Beadalon, and I'm going to use a wire guardian. You don't have to use a wire guardian if you don't want to. And then I'm going to use a crimp for this. Okay. So I'm going to leave that bead stopper on for the moment. I'm going to thread on my crimp. Then I'm going to thread on my wire guardian. Take the wire up. Oh, well, okay, take that off now. It's in the way anyway. And then back down through the wire guardian. Now, before I go through the crimp, I'm going to take this and take my wire through the loop and then pull so that the wire guardian is what's sitting up against the wire, right? How do you feel about easy crimps? Well, that's a great question, and funny enough, because I was just thinking about that. I have a whole drawer of easy crimps and I haven't used them for anything. We should use those for a project. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll use some easy crimps because I do love them. I just forget that I have them. So we can do that next week if you guys want to. On Tuesday, we can use our easy crimps for something. All right, so you just want to make sure that your bead string and wire is not crisscrossing inside there. Those wires need to be running parallel, okay, inside your crimp. We're going to come in with our crimper tool. Don't ever smash your crimps flat, you guys. If you're smashing your crimps flat, you're going to have a broken necklace eventually. So make sure those wires are crisscrossing, or not crisscrossing rather. You're going to put this into the back notch of the crimper tool. It's the one that looks like the shape of macaroni. It's got that little tooth that's going to come down. So we're going to place that into that back notch, and then we're going to squeeze. And that back notch, or that tooth rather, is going to help to further separate those bead stringing wires within the crimp tube or crimp bead, right? So it really kind of brings the metal down between the two wires, which is exactly what you want. You're going to turn that sideways, and then you're going to put it into the front notch, and you're going to give it a squeeze. And all that's going to do is just make it more compact, right? It really doesn't do anything as far as the crimp is concerned, but it really just makes your crimp bead or your crimp tube smaller. If you've crimped correctly, give it the tug test. nothing's going to move, then you can trim this off. You don't need this excess wire for any reason whatsoever. You used to think you needed that for security. You don't. Just go ahead and trim that off. And then you're going to thread on all your beads. And to save time, ta-da, we've already thread all of our beads on. Impressive, eh? Right? Super quick. All right, then we're just going to crimp the other end. Okay, so we're going to follow the same steps. I'm going to thread on my crimp. I'm going to thread on my wire guardian. Sue says, which is better, wire guardians or French wire? So neither, there's not, let me rephrase this. They are equally wonderful. It's really just personal preference, honestly. If you don't like to cut your wire for French wire, then the wire guardians are already ready for you. But as far as if one's better than the other, I really don't think that there's one that's better than the other. But if you're trying to keep it like really, really traditional, like if you're doing pearl knotting, the French wire is really kind of the most traditional. So it just in that aspect, if you're just kind of staying true to the originals, but otherwise I think they're both wonderful, and it's really just a matter of personal preference because they both work exactly the same way. All right, so again, making sure those wires are not crossing. And oh gosh, Wanda says, I've seen so many tutorials in the past couple of weeks where someone smash flattens a crimp and then puts a bead cover on it. Oi, indeed. No, please don't do that. Please don't smash your crimps flat, you guys. Please, please. We've all grown past that in our jewelry making skills. Please don't smash your crimps flat. Super important. All right, so back notch, we've got that done. And you can see when you bring that tooth down, you can actually see how separated those wires are. And that metal just comes right down between the two of them. Put that sideways into that front notch of the crimper tool, give it a squeeze to make it more compact, and then you're going to trim. Okay. All right. So now you've got two sides of a necklace, and we just need to bring them together, right? Because they're not connected. Not yet, anyway. So I want to use our pendant. And so I'm going to come down here to the front. Okay. And I'm just going to use, I put a little 4mm jump ring onto my pendant just because the loop that's already on it is front facing. So I need like a go-between. So I put that little jump ring on there. And then all I'm going to do is just use a single jump ring to connect everything together. Now you can get fancy, you know, and you can do a little wire wrap doodad or whatever you want to, but I'm just keeping it super, super simple. So I'm going to open a jump ring. I'm going to thread on my pendant. And then I'm just going to thread on each end of my little beaded chains here and close that up to attach our pendant to the bottom of this, like that easy. Okay, back here at the back, I'm just going to do 2 jump rings and a lobster clasp. Again, I'm just keeping it easy. There is that beautiful toggle that's in the bargain bead box. If you want to use that toggle back here on the back, that would be absolutely beautiful as well. Attach that to my wire guardian. Yeah, Kim says, just a suggestion, don't go cheap on your crimps. I agree 100%. Do not go cheap on your crimps because that's what's holding all of your jewelry together. If you want to make an investment, invest in the more expensive crimps, the good quality ones. The bead-along crimps, the crimp tubes are my favorite. And I don't skimp on quality because that's literally the one thing that's holding everything together. So yeah, definitely splurge and get the good crimps, y'all. All right, so there's the hardware on the back. This is done. I'm going to turn this around and put this on the bust so you can see it because like this is just not quite doing it. All right, so let me clean off the bust that I've got here because I've got several necklaces hanging on it at the moment. And I'm going to flip you guys around. Now, listen, you can add all kinds of stuff to this necklace. You don't have to just do exactly what I did. You could add, I wanted to add the dragonflies to this, and then I changed my mind and decided not to be that extra today. and to let you guys be extra on your own. But I think it would be beautiful. How pretty is that? It is just the right amount of sparkle. Okay, listen, I say it's just the right amount of sparkle, but the truth is, for me personally, you can't overdo sparkle. But you've got your beautiful pendant here at the bottom. You have your beaded chain with your beautiful faceted little sparkles going through it. And then you've got your sparkly back piece. Just so pretty, right? I'm a fan. And I'm not really much of a purple person. I won't pretend like I am. Purple is one of those colors that you would think because I have green eyes and red hair, I could wear purple. I can't. It washes me out like nobody's business. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think this turned out beautifully. And to me, it's that sparkle. So pretty. But you could add, if you wanted to, you could add those dragonfly charms to this if you wanted to. You could do different dangles, or you could leave the dangles out all together and just have that beautiful beaded chain with the sparkle part at the top. It would look absolutely stunning with or without. So I don't think you can really go wrong. A lot of it to me has to do with the beads that were used. And that those larger loops, like I said, it's a great way to really kind of extend your gemstone beads, or not just your gemstones, just your favorite beads. If you've only got 20 of something, a lot of times that's not enough to do an entire necklace, but you can space them out by using these larger loops and really kind of get more bang for your buck when it comes to your beads. And it's still just a really cool design. So there you go. There's our pretty project using our bargain bead box. And don't forget, there were left over these little drops. And you can make matching earrings with these little drops super quick, right? So you could have like a whole little set. You could do a little bracelet because there was a ton of these left over. So you could do that beaded chain to do a bracelet, and you've got a whole set. You still got a ton of beads left over, and you didn't even spend but less than $20 for the bargain bead box. And that includes shipping. That's a good deal. I'm just saying. So yeah. All right, my friends, I cannot thank you enough for letting me be a part of your Tuesdays. You let me be a part of your Tuesdays, some of you twice on Tuesdays. You guys let me be a part of your Fridays, sometimes twice. Now it definitely will be twice because the Master Maker starts on Friday. I'm so excited to go on a new adventure with you guys. We're going to pick up some new people along the way and just continue to build this amazing community. So I appreciate you as much as you guys are like, oh, she's our bead guru. Let me tell you, I would not be here if it weren't for you. I cannot begin to express the amount of gratitude and love that I have for our entire community. So just spread that love around. That's all I could possibly ask for. Right? You guys are pretty awesome, and I wouldn't be here without you. So love you. Don't forget, you can use that coupon code for $2 off your first bead box. And Hardwired is open for enrollment all week. And I'll see you guys again on Friday, right? I'll see Hardwired at 4 p.m. The rest of you guys, I'll see you at 1 p.m. on Friday for our Feel Good Friday show. Until then, have an amazing rest of your week, you guys. I love you so much. Bye.